I could feel a stifled gasp from the packed gallery behind me, followed by complete silence. I wasn't sure if I was really comprehending Judge Parker's sincere words, so I glanced at my lawyers, Mark Holscher and John Klein, who stood on either side of me. Throughout the toughest moments of my case, when the power and might of the federal government seemed overwhelming, Mark and John and the other lawyers who defended me were as steady as the Jemez Mountains. But now Mark was tilting his Boy Scout-looking face just a bit, and though John's tall frame hovered nearly a foot over mine, I noticed that one of his eyebrows lifted by a fraction. News reports say that Judge Parker spoke for another 30 minutes as he explained the reasons for his apology. To me, his words were a surprising but welcome end to these most horrible 2 years of my life. I could see the blue sky and bright sunlight from the courtroom. But as a prisoner, I had rarely been out in the fresh New Mexico air, and I so missed fishing and hiking in the desert wilderness. During the whole of this year, my main outdoor experiences took place on court appearance days. That's when my armed escort of federal marshals picked me up from the Santa Fe jail in the early morning light to drive me the 60 miles to Albuquerque, right past some of the places I fished and hiked. I had a friendly, conversational relationship with several marshals because we spent so many hours riding in a car together on Interstate 25. Still, it was hard to forget that they carried not only the keys to my wrist and ankle shackles, but loaded handguns and an automatic rifle as well, ready to shoot me in case my dangerous spy nature emerged. One thing I did know, more than anyone else, was that the judge and the nation were indeed terribly misled. I knew, and the other nuclear weapons scientists who watched this elaborate show knew, that the nuclear secrets I was falsely accused of stealing were not really secrets, but were available in the open literature. Also, the files I had downloaded as part of my job as a nuclear code developer were not the state-of-the-art weapons codes that the government wanted everyone to believe. Euphemistically known as legacy codes, they were in fact far older, more decrepit, and more flawed than the space station Mir. Had we gone to trial, these were points my attorneys would have argued. In his remarks to me, Judge Parker noted that he had seen evidence that my attorneys had not yet received, evidence that would be helpful to my case if we had gone to trial instead of taking a plea. I felt certain that I would be proven innocent if we went to trial. But that process would take many more months and costs hundreds of thousands, even millions more dollars in additional legal expenses. The strain on my family was already too great. When the attorneys reached an acceptable plea agreement, I took it. I have no idea how long Judge Parker actually spoke, because the moment took on a slow-motion quality in my mind. As he explained what happened in his court, it seemed that the judge was trying to make some sense of this ordeal for me, for the public, and perhaps for himself. He talked about the laws of this country that protect people from being jailed until there is a trial and a conviction, and how the accused are denied bail only in exceptional circumstances. One by one, he referred to Janet Reno, Bill Richardson, and even Bill Clinton and Al Gore as the parties in the executive branch who were responsible for the deception that led to my imprisonment. He didn't list them by name, but by title: the United States Attorney General, the Secretary of the Department of Energy, the President, and the Vice President. Judge Parker also cited John Kelly, referring to him as the former United States Attorney of the New Mexico District, who vigorously insisted that you be kept in jail under extreme restrictions because your release pretrial would pose a grave threat to our nation's security. John Kelly most certainly made me out to be a monster. I will never forget those days in court. Kelly started his prosecution of me like a vicious attack dog, and then quit his job as U.S. Attorney in order to run for Congress.